Anticlimactic. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Sensual Activation series. My name is Serena Amoroso, and I've got Monique Gomez with me.
Hello.
And we are in our sixth week today. And so today the theme is the third chakra, your Ajna chakra. So we are going to be exploring intuition, imagination, discernment, and really trusting yourself in that. So how these calls go is we're going to have a little 15-minute teaching on what I just spoke about. And then we are going to go into a 15-minute or so somatic ritual where you can really take the codes that we share and experience them in your body, in your heart, to really integrate it in real time. Because that's really what all this is about integrating it in real time into your life through fun and play. And if you can hear that thunder, I'm in Mexico in a storm sitting outside, but maybe you can't. I don't know what this sounds like. It's very loud on my end. Okay, great. Um, yeah, Monique, do you have anything to share before we dive in?
No, not really. I'm excited to kind of get into this. Like, yeah, it's already our sixth um, week doing this. I love following the chakra systems, and this one I think is really um, a one that I like. Just as, like it's such a because it's such a vision, a vision chakra, and I'm so visual. So I'm excited to kind of start diving into it.
Yeah, you're a very visual person. So I love that. Every time we're having a meeting or taking notes, she always draws it out. Okay, so we'll start with the third eye. And so the third eye, as many of you know, it's in the middle of your forehead, in between your two regular eyes. And yeah, and the color associated with it is typically indigo. Sometimes people say white. It really just depends on which teaching and lineage you're learning from. I associate more with like a deep indigo, dusk, midnight purpley color. And I really want to bring forward the lens of relating this chakra really about how you're experiencing yourself first and foremost, and then how you're experiencing it through love and relationships. So, as I said, I really see the third eye as your space of intuition. It is your space of sight. So, it's really that inner knowing where you know if, like, okay, this is a yes, this is a no, this is not aligned, this is aligned. And so when it's in flow, when it's in harmony, you're very clear with that. You get the clear messages and you take action in alignment with them. Now, when it's imbalanced, that's when you really enter into a lot of spaces of confusion. So if there's any place where you're experiencing confusion in your life right now, you might be like, okay, like that's something where maybe my sight, my vision, my truth is not clear. And so really, how can we begin clearing that? And that's what we'll do in the practice. But something that I really love and see, and I just even had a conversation about this with a client before this call, is that what I've seen in a lot of spiritual teachings and different communities over the years is, especially with women, is in the space of being compassionate, being empathetic, really knowing the oneness that we all are and wanting to be in that space of unconditional love is they tend to override and dismiss their intuition. And so many women, and I have been this woman, tend to gaslight our intuition. And I'm really labeling this of like, if a lot of women call things anxiety when it's actually their intuition speaking really loudly to them. So I'd invite all of you right now to simply just reflect on that. Like, is there a space in your life? And this is can be so clear if you're dating or in relationship where you have this anxiety come through of like you see the red flag, right? He doesn't, he cancels plans and then doesn't make a new plan. Or he um like yeah, like that's a really common one. Or it could even just be like, right, he says something and it feels off and you don't really feel like as secure anymore, but you're like, oh no, like it's not him. It's definitely just like my own insecurities. It's my own inner critic. And like you ignore it. You literally ignore the signs and you ignore your intuition and you mistake it and think that you turn it inward and say that something's wrong with you when actually this is your intuition communicating to you so clearly what's aligned and what's not. And so my invitation as we continue this conversation is to really bring the awareness of your third eye is a space of discernment. And your discernment is so necessary and so vital to listen to and to allow and to know that you're not being judgy, you're not being mean, you're actually like we are in a space where having these boundaries, having the separation, having discernment is so important because for many reasons, but the easiest example I can give you is, in these teachings of like, oh, we're all one and love everyone and kind of like the shadow of the people pleaser side. Like if I said to you, you should just let everyone have sex with you, you would immediately say no. You'd be like, what? No, I'm not going to just let anyone inside of me. Like that's discernment. Like that is rightful. You're allowed to say no. You're not supposed to have sex with everyone. You're allowed to discern and say, no, that's not actually aligned for me. And so that's the message that's speaking so loud that I want to share with you all right now. And I'll let Monique take it from here.
Yeah, no, I'm really I really love this conversation around discernment because when I think of the third eye, I always, again, because I'm visual, I think of it as a literal eye, but it's looking inward and it's watching my truth, right? It's like it's the connection with what I call soul or my essence or my unique being here. So having that third eye kind of turning in and looking inward to listen and hear and see what is my truth? What is my soul's truth? What is the journey that I'm here to take, right? So it's kind of just like what you're saying when we have that third eye nice and clear, right? Like it's cleared up, it can see, it has like 20/20 vision, where it's seeing the truth of what it is that is right alignment for you, right? Your true yes, your true no, that discernment of this. So I always see the third eye and like the gut or like our intuition or that sense that lives in the lower chakras, right? I see them always in a relationship. Like the third eye is looking inward to get more information and to see the truth. So that's kind of how I embody the third eye. That's kind of how I work with the third eye and trust it. Um, the beautiful other thing about the third eye that I just want to bring into the conversation is it's also a place where we can vision out. It's where we can imagine, where we can also get in alignment with self and truth and soul purpose and soul essence to see what we can create. So it's also a very creative area and a visual. And the thing is, like Serena said, we are very programmed to shut down and not trust this inner seeing, this inner knowing. I tend to really relate with my own, like the seer energy. Like that is something that I hold very true. So seeing again, like the visual, that's something for me personally that I have cultivated and really trust. But it's taken me a lot of years and a lot of shedding of programs and a lot of shedding of messages that this visual, these images I see, this knowing that I get is safe and I can trust it. We often shut it down. We overthink, right? It's also this part where there's so much mental busyness that it fogs up the inner eye. That's kind of how I see it. It's like it's so busy. The inner eye is like, what's going on? It's like all of the programs, all of the loops, all of the things, buzz, 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 buzz. And so it's like this quieting. And again, like you can see my body, right? It's like I come back into this central space where my inner eye can kind of turn in and look down and hear and see. So that's kind of how I work with the inner eye and how that then relates to how I show up in the world. That's how I show up in relationship, right? It's quieting myself enough, letting my inner eye have some agency and trusting it and letting it guide me to where when we do see those red flags or we feel that little off, we can actually kind of tap into the inner eye and be like, oh, okay, maybe our gut is saying one thing. Can our inner eye check that and like hear what's going on? And can we trust it? Right. So again, it's like working with all of them, our wholeness, using all these parts of like all these energy systems, all these energy chakras, and how they relate to each other as well. Right.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I love that you brought in the trust because that's really such, and the vision. I want to talk about both because
Mm-hmm.
that's so important is that we trust the messages we're receiving.
Mm-hmm.
And within that, just because you listen to your intuition and you trust your intuition does not mean that everything's going to happen like in the way that you want. Okay. Doesn't mean it's going to happen in the way that you want. It's always happening in the way that it needs to in this divine game that we're in. But it doesn't mean that everything's always going to be like perfect, easy, or blissful. A lot of times, listening to our intuition is what invites us to make hard decisions or like really important decisions. And knowing that sometimes our intuition can lead to disappointment. Like I know I've received lots of intuitive hits of like, okay, it's time to end this relationship. It's time to step away from this. Oh, going there actually isn't aligned. That's not for you. And it was like, there was disappointment because these were things that I wanted. But I knew that I needed to listen to my intuition in those moments and honor that of like, okay, yeah, this thing isn't meant for me or this person isn't meant for me. And so, intuition, bringing in just like the wholeness of it, of a lot of times it can really guide us in these beautiful ways of like, yes, go there, be with that person. It can be really fun and joyous. Of course, that's what I always live and teach. But it's also bringing the acceptance of like, and sometimes it's going to invite us, like, your intuition will speak really loudly when it's actually something like that's a no, and to honor that and to honor the disappointment that might come along there. And I'll and then to segue in kind of a different way from that, how important it is to listen to it, not expecting any certain outcome. Then as well, the visioning aspect, because that is such a powerful space of creation and being able to tune in. And I know for me, like sometimes visualizing, it used to be really hard. Like it wasn't something like a practice that I would necessarily enjoy, or like I couldn't really get like, if someone's like, okay, like imagine like your perfect man or your perfect life, I'd be like, my system just does not work that way. But I still have the intuitive visioning where I know how it feels and I have clarity on like what those items are. I was talking about this, I think with Monique, a lot of people recently also about like specific and non-specific manifesting. So for me, I'm a non-specific manifester. And if you're curious about this, it's in your human design chart. But it's like, I'm not someone who's going to be like, okay, I want the white car with the tan leather seats that has, this feature and that feature. Like my way, I'll say it even for a relationship right now, because that's what I'm manifesting. It's not like, okay, I want a man who's 6'2", who's got a beard, who has this type of job, who's making this much money, who, wears this kind of outfit. Like that is not how I'm going to choose a man. Like my way of choosing a man is not by making a specific list, which you all have probably heard a lot of teachers teach. My way is like, what are three things that would create like a feeling that I desire? So for me, I'm like protector, provider, pleasurer. That's what is like guiding me. That's what's guiding my sight and my vision into this experience. And I'll know when I find it. Or maybe like another way I can ground that in for you guys, you ladies, is like whenever I move somewhere, I'm never like, okay, I want to live in, this specific house in Bali in the trees and have the X, Y, and Z thing. It's like, no, when I moved to Bali, it was just, I want to live where there's great community, where there's jungle, where there's like, it's nature, it's like, it was just those three things. And that's how I was able to be guided through then my intuition through clarity, like, okay, I got the ping, go to Bali. That's how it came through. I got the ping, oh, go talk to that person. Like that's an alignment. So we get to play also like our sight and our vision and can be different for everyone. It doesn't need to be this like specific way that maybe you've been taught. It's like it can be the feelings of like, oh, I just feel, really loved and adored and worshiped. Um, or you might actually have a very clear vision of like what he looks like, what he feels like, what he sounds like, all of these things, but really opening up of how your sight might be communicating to you, how your intuition might be communicating to you. Are those signals in your body? Is it more of like an audio kind of sound, like a voice? Is it more of like an actual vision? Is it a knowing? Like our intuition speaks to us in so many different ways. And then just as Monique said, it's like having that clarity, having that stillness. Like that's where the practice, let's say, of meditation or even doing like dance, some kind of movement to clear the mind. But imagine like a very rough ocean wave, and then it's or like a bunch of ripples in the ocean, and then like a calm lake. It's like when you're that calm lake, you can actually discern and have the clarity of what's being communicated to you. So the final piece I want to add is actually around confusion and knowing that a lot of times if we are experiencing confusion, I was having a conversation about this also with my client earlier where, the words confusion. Con is usually with, and fusion is right, it's like togetherness. And so it's like, oh, the word should actually be synfusion. It's like without fusion. It's a fragmentation. When we're usually in a space of confusion, Either it's like, okay, we need more space to allow that clarity to come through, or there's something that we're not seeing. It's like we're not actually allowing ourselves to see, right? To see through the third eye, to see the truth of a situation. So we're ignoring the red flags. We're ignoring, like, oh, that we feel contraction in our body because we want the thing to work. And then that's why we feel confused because we have now fragmented ourselves and we're not in wholeness. And so those are a few things to notice in your own life. If you're in that overthinking or you're in the confusion, how can you create that space of wholeness within and ask, what am I not seeing or what am I intentionally ignoring? So then you can get to that clarity and bring acceptance to what your insight and your intuition is actually guiding you to do.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I think my last little kind of addition to that is just to really um, speak to that confusion. And that is when I always think like the third eye, it's foggy, it's not coming through. And how do we clear it? Movement or kind of quieting, right? When we're confused, it's loud. There's like a loudness to our mind. And so allowing the confusion to be a sign and a really cool like signpost that like, oh, I'm confused. So therefore there's something that I need to attend to. Right? There's an attending. And that could be just I need to attend to my intuition. I need to attend to like what it is that I'm really feeling. And that's
Mm,
kind of the gift, I think, of confusion, and being able to kind of again come back, right? Step back, slow down, whatever that is. So yeah.
yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let's move now into our little somatic practice so you can experience this for yourselves. So I will invite everyone to, you can be sitting or lying down for this, and to just settle, to begin turning your gaze inward by closing your eyes, by feeling your belly rising and contracting with your breath, feeling your heartbeat inside your chest, feeling the parts of you that are touching the earth, the ground, and letting yourself be held here. And inviting sound into this practice. So, with each breath out, with this exhale, really just softening, allowing your system to decompress. With every exhale, creating spaciousness within and throughout. And we start to bring the mind, body, and spirit into coherence. And you can imagine an infinity wave moving through your body. And maybe you can even feel this, but circling through your spine, around your head, down your front, and at your pelvis, that being the middle of the figure eight, where then you go down the opposite legs, circling up your legs, meeting in that pelvis and going up your back. So tracing along, maybe even move your hands along your body if that feels supportive. And deepening your breath. So inhaling up your spine, around your head, down your front, through your pelvis, down your legs, up the front of your legs, through your pelvis, and up your spine. This figure eight within your body. Feeling that sensation within your body. Bringing coherence and harmony. into your experience. With each breath, going deeper, maybe even feeling the pleasure beginning to circulate through you. If you're seated, maybe even your spine begins to undulate. If you're lying down, it might also do the same. Following your own rhythm, your own pacing, your own softness. Hmm. Ah. And now coming back into a space of stillness and letting go of that visualization, feeling that groundedness, noticing what has shifted in your body and your mind already. And then once again, tuning into your third eye, that inner eye, shifting that gaze inward. You can reverse it as Monique shared. I really love that, to turn that inward gaze. Begin seeing yourself with truth, with love, with trust, and a slight smile on your face. The intimacy of meeting yourself. And now all connected in this inner gaze, calling forth one desire of your heart. So, what is something you're desiring in your life right now? It can be something so small, like what you want to eat later, to something so big as calling in the love of your life. Whatever it is, bringing one desire that really makes your heart tickle, that makes your pussy pulse, that brings a smile to your face. And holding that in your intention, in your awareness, that desire, naming it so clearly and simply, admitting and acknowledging it to yourself. This is your ping out into the field. And when you tune into this desire, what is the feeling that you desire associated with that desire? So is it a feeling of safety? Is it a feeling of excitement? Is it a feeling of being loved? Is it a feeling of gratitude? Like, what do you feel when you imagine that experience being completed and the havingness of that experience? And can you begin to activate that feeling now? So this is a very high level energetic practice. So if you're not able to feel the gratitude or the excitement, here's how you can hack it right now. Think of a time when you have felt excited or grateful, a memory that you have, and bring that memory into your now moment, into your body, so you can feel the physiological change in your body and your nervous system, to feel that excitement, that gratitude, that knowingness. And as you deepen that with a smile on your face, now imprinting your desire, this new desire, with that energy of your body, linking them together right now, imprinting them together, being a master of time and space of your own reality. Ah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Bringing your hands to your heart, one to your womb. touching yourself with this presence, with this love, with this, I've got you. It's again with a slight smile on your face. You have now linked the emotional experience with the desire. You have an imprint, you have a map. Yeah. It is complete. Now you get to play the game of being in the journey of that creation. And from here, all that's required of you, the way to play this game is to listen to the messages that come through, the pings that say, yes, this way, no, not that way, yes, this person, no, not that person, and to act in alignment with that, to trust your inner knowing, to trust yourself in those choice points, and you will be guided exactly where you need to be. It really is that simple. Although simple isn't always easy, but it is definitely that simple. So allowing your belly to expand again. If any contraction has come up in your body throughout this, that's okay. We say thank you. I accept you. I love you. It's okay. And you reset and you recalibrate and you come back to that infinity wave through your body, coming back into coherence, back into regulation, and back into your pleasure. It is done. It is done. It is done. You may now gently open your eyes, saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Mm. And if any of you are feeling frisky, you can comment and share what your desire is. That way, we can also hold the vision for you, because one of the biggest aspects of creation and being in your creatorship is being the witness. It is seeing it as though it's already done in your own mind's eye, in your own heart, in your own nervous system. And then the real power or a different depth of power comes when you have others holding that vision for you as well and witnessing that vision with you as well, because it amplifies the field, it amplifies the power, it amplifies belief, and it brings more light into matter. It brings more it brings it into matter so much more easily and so much more fun, which is why anytime you blow out candles for your birthday, share what your wish is. The biggest illusion is not sharing the wish. That's a whole other transmission. But thank you all for being here. That's what I've got for you today.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Serena, for leading that. And thank you all for joining. And yeah, continue to just vision, share the vision. That's just a big takeaway. I know you've taught me that quite a bit. Share the wish at the birthday
Share
count.
the wish, share the desire, share the dream. And
Yeah.
we will be back next Friday at 12 p.m. Central Time. Again, the link to join is in the comments or in the description. And we're so excited to see you for our crown chakra. So this is the last one of this chakra series, and then we'll see what our intuitions guide us into next. But we're so excited to see you all. Thank you for being here. We love you. Mwah.
Thank you.